Hello everyone. I hope that you're enjoying the Sweet Poppy Stencils Inspiration Day. The design team have come up with some really lovely video tutorials for you. They're a talented bunch. Plus there's a few step-by-steps that are truly beautiful. So I hope that you enjoy today. It's 1 o'clock. It's my turn to share a demonstration with you. I'm Eileen Godwin, and I hope that you enjoy the card that I'm going to share with you. It features the beautiful large bell and also Lupin. Lupin is a Lavinia stamp. I've got a few sentiment stamps from Sweet Poppy Stencils as well, and I'm using archival inks for the background. More about what I'm using as I go along. So away we go. Oh, as you can see, I haven't stuck to Christmas colours. It's artwork. You can use any colours you like. And on this one, as you can see, blue tones, there's a bit of beige there. I think these were VersaFine Clair inks. This yellow I know was Sunflower from Archival, and I've got a bit of grey here as well. This one I'm using all Archival inks. There's, what's that one? Peat Moss here. Monarch, I think, is the orange. Then I'm using Sunflower just to lighten it and bring up the brighter tones. And then I'm going back to VersaFine Clair for this sentiment stamp down the side. That's Twilight. And then Joy to the World in VersaFine Clair Nocturne. Right, I will, oh, and of course for the hair as well, and that's Nocturne. But I will tell you those again as I go through the demonstration. I'm using a piece of Paper Mill Direct Ivory cardstock. Let me just check that I'm in shot okay. Yeah. So this is Paper Mill Direct Ivory cardstock and also a blending mat, because I need to blend out the colours. I've got a blending mat there. The cardstock size is, excuse me, is 16 centimetres by 13, so 16 by 13. I'm using the magnets as well, which I've left inside my Misty. I'm not very organised, am I? Nope. Okay. Trying to think and work at the same time. Yeah, always dangerous. Down we go. Pop those there. Stencil. Now the stencil, the large bell, this was designed by Emma Cronin. She's a lovely lady, very talented, and obviously the maker is Sweet Poppy Stencils. So you've got the words on the front. I'm flipping it over because I want this part of the bell where it's sort of shining, or the light's supposed to be hitting it. I want this bridge here to be over on the left-hand side. So when I stamp Lupin, he's got a clear run over on the right, okay? So down we go with the stencil. Magnetic sheet on the back of my Misty. Oh, and it's trying to hit the... God, they're so strong, these magnets, which is good, but sometimes it's a fight, but I always win. Down we go. Little bit of tape though now. Sweet Poppy Stencils low tack tape. Just to protect the cardstock sticking out the top from stray ink, and sticking out the bottom for stray ink. I'm not bothered about the sides, too far away. Now I've got a blending mat and I'm using makeup brushes. The secret to inking over stencils is to do small amounts of ink, one layer at a time. If you put too much on, you're going to find the ink will leak underneath the stencil. I'm also using archival. Archival inks are a dye ink in an oil base, so they're slightly thicker than distress inks, oxides, and even VersaFine Clear. They're not as fluid as any of those, so they less chance of running underneath. Coupled with the fact that I just love the properties, the glow, the transparency of them, and also the colours as well. So that's lucky then. Starting off with this green, peat moss. Just check that you're seeing okay. So layer of peat moss down onto your mat. So a nice lot on the brush, and then with a circular motion, picking up one bit at a time, adding more ink as you need to, blend it out so you're not overdoing the ink. Drifting slowly over from left to right, but not covering the whole bell. Like so. Now I'm moving on to, just going to wipe that off. Cleaning your mat, you will require isopropyl alcohol or blending solution because it won't wash off. Archival inks are waterproof because they're oil-based, so you need to clean it off. Or hand sanitizer will remove it as well if you want to get rid of the stain. But I needed just to make sure there was no ink left to contaminate what I'm doing. And that seems okay. So back on to Monarch Orange. Change brushes. Same rule. Blend it onto your mat. And then onto your work. Gently does it. Wrist is loose. No pressure on the brush. Just gently skissing and skissing. Gently kissing or skimming across the top of your card. And blending in with the green. You're going to lighten this up with some yellow as well. So if it looks a bit muddy, don't panic, missus, okay? Still working in layers, and you shouldn't find any leakage underneath. Okay, so now I'm going to lighten the tones that I've got by adding, let's remove any surplus ink that comes. It's still staining, but there's no wet ink there to get onto my card. So I'm now going to use Sunflower in Archival, and that will lighten and give it a bit of a glow, bit more of a glow. And any muddy areas, same rule. Blend it out. Concentrating more on this ribbon at the top because I like that orange at the bottom. So not really going to do anything there. But I want to give a nice glow to this bit in the middle here. And after a few applications, you'll start to see Yeah, just coming now. Just start to see that yellow doing the business. Oh, now I've moved that bridge, being too heavy-handed. Oh, yes, I have. Need to be really careful. Anyway, I've pushed it back. Now I'm going to hold it. I got a bit enthusiastic there. I shouldn't have done. Anyway, that'll do. No harm done. Okay, I've got a nice glow coming from the middle of the bell now. So let's remove this. That's good. Pop your stencil into water and use a brush to clean it, not fingers. The blood goes everywhere. Right. Pop that over now. Cleaning up my mat. Actually, I've finished with the blending, so I don't need that mat anymore. So that will come out. Turn that round. Got a slight little blob there. Look, I don't want that. So let me see. What have I got? Yeah. Right, so I've got a tiny speck, just a tiny speck, but enough to catch my eye. I'm not going to use an eraser to get it out. I'm going to use this white pen just to put on the top of it when I get the ink flowing. There we go. So as that soaks into the cardstock, you won't see anything. And that looks totally white now. Okay, next, it's beautiful Lupin. And he is going over on the right-hand side. Pop the card into the stamp press. I've got a sticky grid sheet there. And my two magnets again. One there and there. Lupin, as I've said, is from Lavinia Stamps. I'm gonna pop where Lupin's paw here, okay, at the bottom, front paw, aim for that part of the bell here. So it's just resting on that line. So his tail is off the cardstock, off the bell image, just. Doesn't matter if it isn't exact, don't worry about it. Okay, down we go, pick him up. And Versifying Claire Nocturne. Gentle tapping. I'm going to do about 2 or 3 layers, not put too much ink on. I want him to look quite bold, of course. I want him to stand out. Oh, that was a Speedball Brayer that I use. And that I use for my gel press work. Right. Inking up number 2. Over we go. Fingers crossed it hasn't moved. Yeah, look at that. It's beautiful. Shall I chance one more? I'm going to do one more. going to have to use an eraser on him to take some of the colour out. But for the time being, finish off the stamping and allow him to dry. He's got to be bone dry before I get the eraser onto him. I've got other stamping to do, which will give me a bit of time. So that's him done, fingers checked. Like so. I'll clean this stamp off later, just mild soap and water. Copy paper. Just check that I'm in shot again. Yeah, not too bad at all. Okay, bit of ink there. Look, don't like that. Got to go. Sand eraser. Sand this end, rubber this end. Lucy sells these Sweet Poppy stencils. Tombow Mono Sand Eraser, 510A, sand and rubber. This is the sand end for inks. Just need to get rid of that stray ink that I've got that end. Done. Now, he is still wet. He's very wet, but I want to take some of the colour out, but I'm not going there yet. So clear up, bring on Versafine Clear Twilight, bring on some more stamps, and these are from Sweet Poppy Stencils. I've got two here. One is from the set called Festive Phrases, and this is Joy to the World. That's the main image. You could obviously use any you like. And the other one is called Hugs and Kisses, is the name of the stamp set, again from Sweet Poppy Stencils. And this is for background texture only. There are words, it is a sentiment, of course. It's a verse, in fact. But it doesn't, this is just for the background to fill a space. You don't have to read it thoroughly, but you do need to ensure it's straight, because you will pick out some of the words. And this says, may the Christmas season fill your home with joy, your heart with love, and your life with laughter. I'll go with that. Here we are. Twilight blue for that one. Gentle tapping. Taking out, but don't press too heavily. 1 generation, 2 generation, and over. And starting off on the left hand side and making sure it's straight. 1, going back to the left more, coming back to the right again, pressing a little bit heavier so you can see it as you're going down the card, but it's different widths going across the card. And as I'm getting nearer the end, I'm pressing even more heavily on the stamp. 1 more inking, 2 off again, and then over at the top, gently does it, a little bit more there, and actually a bit more there. Okay, so you've got that side full of text. However, you can read it, but it isn't overpowering. He is still, and the bell, they are still the focal point. That's just a bit of background. Joy to the World is next, and I'm going to do that one in Nocturne. Joy to the World, and this I'm not putting into the stamp press, so I've got to make sure this is absolutely straight, plus it's inked up properly. Down we go, and I'm going to pop that in there. Commit, let the ink soak in, press it down really firmly and up. Yep, I'm happy with that. Okay. So now I need a heat gun because I'm going to do a bit of work with crayons and an eraser. Thought I'd finished, didn't you? Fooled you. So just making sure all of that ink, especially the black stuff, is clean. Sorry, is dry. Especially over Lupin. Pop that down there, let's have a look. Yes, that's good. So, here we go. So I am now going to remove, I want Lupin to come to the front. And the only way I can do that is to remove the ink in this area. You see, he's white there, look. Whereas there, he's got more texture and all the orange underneath. Okay? So now I'm using the sand eraser and making sure that I don't get any marks from my hands anywhere. Just going to take some of that orange colour out. Yeah, you have to be. If you're using archival ink, you're going to get a different process if it isn't archival ink. If you're using archival ink, you will find that it works very well. Others do work though. It depends on what cardstock you're using and what ink you're using. Make a note of the results that you get. And that will do for his face. And if you go too far, you can put some colour back with pencils. But you can't put any colour back with ink because it will just go a lot darker. Now this side, really firmly. Makes a mess of your eraser, so make sure you clean it off continuously. I'm being quite a vandal here. I'm really pressing heavily. And on the leg. Oh, I'm worn out. And also on the ear. Just to remove as much of that orange as I can. You could mask, but to be honest, I like this look. I like this look of work with the eraser. The way it shades and gives it tone and brings him out. He looks stunner. Just keep going. You keep going until one of two things happens. One, you've removed enough to be able to see him. Or two, you've got a hole in your card and you've got to start again. I'm trying to be helpful, honest. It takes some punishment, this card, I tell you. You could put white crayon, but it's not quite the same. Right, that'll do me, I think. You get the idea. You've got tone on tone with him. A bit more on his ear, maybe. Lupin now stands out more. And I'm quite happy with the look. Now, the final couple of things I need to do. I'm going to take some yellow crayon, polychromos, or in this case it's colour soft, it really doesn't matter. And I want to add some yellow tones, more yellow tones to the bell. just to brighten it up. But if you overdo it, I'm taking the eraser in the rubber end now, just to remove some of the yellow I didn't like. Just put some yellow tones in just to give it a bit of extra dimension and improve the look. Not being too fussy. Try and keep the white areas white though, would help. Bit of extra shading. Gone out to the white areas again. Okay. Just lifts it a bit. You might not be getting this too well, but it, say it yourself, it looks pretty cool. Right. A bit more on the green area here and a bit more here. And maybe here, why not? That needs a bit of a blend in. It's gone too yellow. Right, okay. Boom, 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 boom. Now, I've got a pastel, a soft pastel. Going to add a bit more white to his face here and blend in that as well. So you see, when you use the pastel crayon, it isn't quite as white looking as when you use it all over, but it just adds a bit more tone and lifts that a bit. I think I'm done actually. Got to do around the edge. Dum dum. Looking for my lovely friend the Sharpie. Close your eyes if you're squeamish. You can use a ruler on this if you like. Just going to give it a border. Trick copied from Barbara Gray years and years ago. Still use it, as you can see, like so. I mean, it's personal choice. I mean, black does make your work pop, but I don't like thick borders in black. They remind me of funeral cards. But that's personal. I mean, you use whatever you like. Yeah? Okay. So I'm looking at the 2 cards that I've finished. And I don't think I've missed anything out. No, it's all there. This is the blue one. So I will get, the base card is, no, I'm not going to stick this on. I mean, you can do that, can't you? Because one, I'm running out of time. But I'm looking for the base card and I don't know what, oh yes, I know what I've done with it. It's here. So I used it for this one. Right, the base card is 18 centimetres by 15. So all you do is, I've cut an A4 piece of card in Paper Mill Direct Ivory again, folded it, creased it and cut it to 18 by 15. And then just plonked one on top of the other. Yeah? Like so. So there you go. I'll be back soon with another Sweet Poppy. Not today, but keep an eye open this week because there's another card that I want to share with you that I really love. I'll show you. Where is it? Maybe I won't show you because I can't find it. But trust me, I've got another card that I want to share with you later this week. You'll find it on my Facebook page. You might find it on here as well. Sweet Poppy Stencil, Simply Sweet Poppy Stencil page and on YouTube. So, but more about that later. Here's the card that I finished today. Here's one that I did earlier. I've really enjoyed myself. I hope that you have too. And enjoy the rest of Sweet Poppy Stencils Inspiration Day. Bye for now. Thanks for looking.